stage the fantastic Ram. Yay!
Thank you and good evening. My name is Ram. I come from Slovenia. I'm an entrepreneur working on many sustainability projects, and I'm kind of an adrenaline junkie. One of the things I really like is that feeling of acceleration when the plane is taking off. So I was thinking, how could I experience just that part of the flight and not the landing? So 4 years ago, I learned how to skydive. I thought this was a brilliant solution. Now I tell the pilots, you just do the takeoff. I will worry about coming back down myself. Skydiving, like all extreme sports, gives you a huge adrenaline rush, and it's common in such sports to develop addictions. And I developed the weirdest addiction. I just love the smell of burning jet fuel. The Cessna airplane we usually jump has an exhaust pipe very close to the door. So whenever I'm boarding the plane, all excited and geared up, I pass through this blowing stream of exhaust gas, and I psychologically anchored this smell to all the positive feelings I experience when actually jumping. So now instead of buying alcohol, I just go sniffing around airports. No, I'm kidding. I buy alcohol as well. Now you know what's up. Now imagine my inner conflict, right? I love the smell of burning fuel, and I work in sustainability. Being the most socially awkward person, devoid of any human empathy, and running the biggest social network on the planet. This couldn't possibly happen, right? Let alone having two socially awkward people run two of the largest social networks on the planet. I think that is just amazing, right? I keep my footprint to a minimum, though. The Cessna airplane we jump from is really tiny. So it's not like flying in an airliner. In fact, it's so tiny that boarding the plane is kind of like playing Tetris with humans as blocks. So every time I'm crammed in there in this semi-erotic spooning position with two other guys, I'm just repeating to myself, I'm doing this for the environment. I'm doing this for the environment. We're so in there that at the end we don't even jump out because we really want to. We jump out because we just can't stay being in there anymore. You know, screw this, I'm getting out of here. Now, I do have this hobby that does cause a little bit of extra emissions. Everything we do has a footprint, right? And all of us have some habits that might be considered as having a negative impact. So the first step towards designing more regenerative ways of living, in my opinion, is asking the fundamental questions. Why do we do the stuff that we do? What drives our behavior, and how could we drive more sustainable behavior? I think this is really important, and I wanted to have a mentor that would help me develop this attitude of questioning everything. I couldn't really find a good one, so I made him. His name is Zach, and he's my 4.5-year-old son. The other day, he asked me what my job was, and I thought this was great. You know, like this was like one of those pitching exercises they teach you in business, where you try to pitch your business as you would to a 5-year-old kid. So I took this as a challenge, and I go to him and I said, so look, Zach, you know, there are these groups of people called companies, and they produce all the products that we can buy. And I go and help these companies work in a way that has the most benefit for them, for other people, and for nature. And he's looking at me like he's seriously contemplating this. And then he says, so what's for lunch? My pitch did not impress him. I did get an idea though. I think that every company should employ a 4.5-year-old kid to evaluate all their important decisions. So just imagine, company has an important decision to make, they go and pitch this to the kids. The kid would then ask them all sorts of why questions, and if they cannot answer the question, then go back to the drawing board. I would make this the only acceptable form of child labor. I work with companies, I try to be more like my son and ask these questions to challenge existing paradigms. Take car ownership, for example. The traditional way of using a car is everybody owns one, right? But that's massively inefficient. The average car is parked 95% of the time. So we're producing way more cars than we actually need. So car sharing is a way more efficient mobility system. And as a user of a car sharing service, I must tell you, I found so many ways in which it makes my life richer. For example, every day I get to choose who I want to be that day. If I want to be a corporate executive riding in an electric BMW, or do I want to be this urban activist in a smart? Or do I want to be a washed up jet fuel addict in a busted Fiat? All the options are at my disposal. Sometimes sharing provides me with a safe therapeutic space where I can express my frustration, my judgments. You know, like I would come into a car and I would find that somebody who has been using it before me left this plastic wrap from a Snickers chocolate bar right there on the driver's seat. And I say, this is what's wrong with the world today. No caring about anything else but themselves. All the problems of the world exemplified by this piece of plastic wrap. If only everybody was as caring and considerate as I am, be a better place. And of course, as I leave the car, I leave the plastic wrap right there on the driver's seat. So that the next person can also have their therapeutic experience. I also invented this fun game I like to play with myself when I'm using the car sharing service. So when I come to the car, I try to guess the physical characteristics of the person that has been using it before me based on the driver's seat configuration. I developed 3 personas that I would like to share with you tonight. So persona number 1 is the flamingo. So this is when the car seat is retracted all the way to the back. It's super high. So I'm thinking this has to be a person with super long legs, but a very short torso. Then the second persona is the yoga master. This is when the seat is pushed all the way to the wheel. I cannot imagine how this person could have possibly squeezed themselves in the car and drive like this. And the third persona, my personal favorite, is the laid back gangster. When the back of the seat is tilted all the way back, so it basically becomes a deck chair. I can drive like this. So embracing change can be difficult, but it's also beautiful. Earth is our collective airplane, but we cannot just jump out when things get tough. So we have to find ways to enjoy this cramped, semi-erotic spooning. So question everything as my son is teaching me and find some fun in doing stuff differently. Thank you very much. And good-
Nicely done, Ram. Okay, let's go to gallery view, please. Everybody, please, if you can turn on your cameras, unmute it. Let's give a round of applause. Yay! Nicely done. Yay! Beautiful.